All attendees are in listen-only mode.
What is up, everyone?
Hey, people.
Hey, hey, hey. With me today, we've got Brad Mabry and Michael Pierce, the NFG crew. And then also today we have a guest, JP, Jordan Pierce, which I'm sure many of you guys know.
What's up, everybody?
What up?
Alrighty, Brad, I'll turn it over to you.
All right, how we doing, everyone? See a lot of familiar.
Everyone had a good week?
New ones.
Has it been a profitable week so far?
Thus far, Thirsty Thursday.
I brought Google like a couple thousand miles up in the air today. That was fun.
That you get that extra IP when you take a flight.
I do.
You broke Google a few weeks ago too, when you were doing naughty stuff.
Yeah, that was pretty fun though.
Ah, the heart of Europe, Vienna.
Oh, you did?
Hey, Martin.
Dwayne signed a new client last week. That's awesome.
Nice.
Dwayne.
How many locations, or is it a national type global? Brad, you're not sharing your screen yet, just so you know. I'm not.
Nice, Dwayne. Good job, brother.
Oh, here we go. Can you see it now?
I won't announce your niche, but nice. That'll be very interesting. That'll be a fun campaign.
Oh, that one closed. Nice job, Dwayne. Good job, man.
Anybody else have something cool happen this week? New clients, new theories, ideas,
New opportunities.
new ranks.
New client.
New
Nice, Shannon.
Good job. Sounds like people are busy out there. They're working.
It is the new year.
Hey, Ed, welcome. If you're just starting out with us, we're glad you're here. SERPx is a good place to be. Good community and good stuff to make life easier for Brad and I and Jordan and Roman.
So
I like pressing buttons and buying things and making things rank.
some pretty badass training coming out. I don't know how much Roman wants it talked about, but some PhD training, all that kind of good stuff. So tonight, though, we've still got people piling in, but tonight, I think Roman said in the emails, we've had a bunch of questions about SERPx. People understand it, but then think there's more, and they want to see exactly how everyone uses it. Mike and I have been using like a rudimentary version of SERPx for a while, and then Roman got a hold of it and just blew it out of the water, made it a lot easier to use, a lot simpler to set up.
The last site Brad put up, he had page one ranks in less than 24 hours, and
And I think that's directly because of
someone Roman's got working on the plugin named Houston, and Houston's been amazing to sit down and talk to, and he blows my mind when I talk to him. I don't know if you wanted to say anything about him, Roman, but when I see those ranks come that quick, I just can't help but think of Houston.
It was top 5 CPC niche. A lot of people in here probably know the primary niche. Mike Jordan's getting into it. Mike, Jordan, and I are in, and it's not an easy niche. And to achieve, 23-hour rankings, that's pretty good. Registering the site, throwing the WordPress theme on it. That's all I used, and I just loaded up exactly what we're going to show tonight. Loaded that up and then threw it in there. So
yeah, and Houston is definitely one of the keys behind that. Roman, were you saying something, or?
Oh yeah,
I thought I heard you.
Houston is absolutely phenomenal. When you go look at Google's patents, for most people it doesn't make a lot of sense, but he's one of those type of guys that's in academia, and he can decipher exactly what these terms actually mean, as opposed to us trying to understand its plurality of blah and corpuses and all of this other terms.
I learned how my local store that I shop at was organized like my websites because of Houston. When he went over market basket analysis, Roman.
So we're going to have to drag him on here, I think, sooner rather than later, and get him going over some deeper patent analysis and some of the more nerdy, fun topics that I love.
Oh yeah, I mean it's what happens when you have somebody with a PhD in machine learning.
Yep.
For those that don't know, that's artificial intelligence.
Exactly. That's amazing. All right. Well, let's jump into it.
Yep,
Let's get
into it.
people.
Yeah, I think we're going to answer a lot of questions tonight. The very beginning is going to be review for some of you, but it really needs to get drilled in. And for anyone that's new take notes, all that stuff. Anyone that's seen it before, probably still take notes and listen because this needs to click.
And Ed, I see your question. We'll get to those questions at the end, and we'll help you out with that and everything down here at the end of the webinar. So we got you, man.
Yeah. So starting out, everyone here has probably heard of a PBN, private blog network, where you go buy an old domain that was something else, and you repurpose it, and then you throw random articles. One might go to a dentist, one might go to a chiropractor, which you could tie those together loosely. But then one might link to something completely random. It was just a blog roll, all that good stuff. So the evolution of that is how Mike, Jordan, Roman, and I build everything. And we call it a MiniNet because we build a network of sites for each client. Unless they are in corresponding niches, then we can use them more than once. But, I mean, we go out and get $10 domains and rank the crap out of stuff. So at the end of the day, it makes your SEO easier once you understand this. So I wanted to go through it real quick for everyone. So everyone, if you haven't read it, should read Revenge of the MiniNet. If you don't know where to get it, nfgseo.com/mini. There's a link there to make it easy on you. Keep every link tightly niched. Don't wander too much. You can go.
And don't follow the linking patterns before we forget to mention that. Every time we mention this book, we have to make sure that you understand that we want you to pay attention to the relevance and not the linking patterns that they're using. We'll talk about different linking patterns and things later, but pay attention to the relevance aspects and the theme aspects of how the sites are brought together.
Yeah, because keep in mind it was written in 2008, and don't build any closed link wheels or anything at all. So just read it, understand relevance, and implement. So don't deviate from that. Just stick to that. Keep everything relevant. With the mini nets, the way we do them, the way we'll show you tonight, you can tier niche relevant stuff 3 tiers back very quickly and easily. At the end of the day, it makes SEO and link building much more simple once this clicks, and you can do more with less. I've ranked state level terms in top 5 CPC niches with only a handful of links, like 4 or 5 at most.
And I love that it can pay for itself as well.
Exactly, and we're going to cover that a little bit tonight too. So, key to building a MiniNet, building links is, in my opinion, if you keep this in mind, then it'll make it so much easier and so much more effective. Treat every site like a money site in 2 different ways. One, you want to rank it because then that brings traffic and all that good stuff. And we know that we'll get to it in the next one, but that's part of Triple T. Traffic trumps all, in my opinion. If you got a site with a ton of traffic and not as many backlinks or not as high as the DA or not as, whatever third-party metric you want to use, I'll take traffic because I know it pushes. So if you build
those ranks are direct links from Google, remember that, or
exactly.
They're direct links from Yahoo or Bing. Those are seed sites and those are direct.
Yeah,
so
there's a major site is trusting you once you're getting traffic and rankings from those search engines. So treat everything like a money site because it strengthens your backlink portfolio. And what's the other reason? Post up in here if you know it. What's the other reason why I want to treat it like a money site? Exactly.
We mentioned it.
Yep, you can monetize it. So if you've got this traffic, if you've got these rankings, if they look like decent sites, if they're gonna pass the sniff test, you can make money with them. You can throw a PPL offer that's pay per lead, where you get paid per call, or if you have a form fill, you can get paid per form fill if you have that type of offer. Once you start doing this and getting the domains to pay for themselves, then it makes it a lot easier too to keep up the domain when they renew, to keep up the hosting, to keep up everything. It kind of pays for itself at that point, as opposed to being an additional expense. It's an additional asset at that point. So The way I usually do them is I might have 2 or 3 topics on here, and again, we're going to do a complete walkthrough. Once I have that, then I'll just let it crank. It can build out this beast of a site. And speaking of that, I remembered I need to log into that site, so I'm going to have to go dark before we do that. But we'll do that in a second when we get to the walkthrough. But build everything out. I kind of do a kind of a silo, but really when I silo, it's not /doctor / Greensboro. It's doctors in Greensboro. That's how I build out my silos. They're virtual silos. You don't actually
virtual. They're virtual. You're grouping. They're keyword. You can call them keyword clusters if you want to. They're highly relevant keywords that are grouped together through internal linking structures.
Exactly. So everything, build it like a money site, because that's going to make your if you want to call them PBNs, I call them mininets. It's going to make those that much stronger because you're going to put more time and effort into it, which it's really not that much time and effort, but it's really going to make everything stronger. So 3 letters we live by with every single agency, every single job that we do: trust, traffic, and theme. Mike, did you want to kind of, since that's your key phrase, did you want to explain the difference between trust, traffic, and theme?
Well, what's trust, people? Let's see how you're thinking tonight. I know one of you can spit that answer out super quick.
I trust you and Brad.
That's not a good
one. And you. I don't know about Brad, but yeah, trust is it can be tied to the distance graph, like there was mentioned in there. It can be tied to validation. A site that is gating traffic, going hand in hand, there's a reason why traffic is there by trust. It is a trusted site. Google's not going to send traffic to a site it doesn't trust, whether it's a beautiful site or an ugly site. If it's giving you some ranks and some traffic, it's trusting you. So trust is ultimately important because we need traffic from Google, and we can't get that without having the trust from there. So, Brad, I think the screen went down.
It did, because I'm bringing up the SERPx.
Gotcha. And traffic is actually one of our strongest indicators. We always look for traffic on everything. So whether I see a large link profile, 200, 300, 1,000 referring domains, if I see 20 referring domains and I see nice traffic on a site or past traffic on a site, then I'm going to be very happy with what I see in the link profile. And again, theme is essentially relevance, and relevance is, you can look at it like this. Relevance is the keyword groupings, and the theme of the site is the overall market that the whole site touches, whether that's a geographic site or a niche-based site. So you've got the whole theme, and then you've got the relevant keyword groupings underneath it, or virtual silos.
Exactly. Is that clear to everyone?
Well, I make sure you understand it because it's very important.
Yeah. And why do we use T in everything we do?
There's a reason SERPx works very well. Some of it comes down to the kind of crazy crap that Houston's done, but it also comes down to the simplicity of T, of trust, traffic, and theme. So.
Yeah, and again, we're not really pushing SERPx tonight. It's what Jordan, Mike, and I use, just because, like we said, we see results from it. You can use whatever you want. You can do it by hand. Yeah, you can do it by hand. You can go out and grab articles and build that out. You can spin articles and put them up, but I use SERPx because it's freaking easy. Yeah, there should be a replay.
There will be a replay.
We have technical difficulties or something, but yeah, we're planning on it. We're recording it.
Let's stick around for the question and answers, and maybe a little gift, though, if you can.
There might be a coupon or something. I don't know. But all right. So how do you build a MiniNet? First, I start with an ED that's expired domain or an auction. If you want to know my opinion, I prefer expired domains because I don't have to wait around in an auction. I can get something that's extremely niche relevant, and I can have it. I can find a domain, have it up and running that same freaking day. So it can start building out traffic. So once I find one, I host it on whatever hosting. Roman, we might we might have a hosting
We might
solution
have
for
something.
everyone pretty soon, right? So we won't go into
Oh, yeah.
hosting too much, yeah. So
It's going to be
yeah,
running,
push button hosting / ranking / site setup / whatever the fuck else.
I'm
we
waiting.
think of, but yeah.
I'm sitting here freaking biting my nails, dude.
Yeah. So yeah, so I don't have to set them up on different hosts and everything. So so once I get those, I do, because I find niche relevant expired domains. Roman, does SERPspace offer expired domains again? I knew you
Yes,
stopped
we,
doing it for a while.
Yeah, we stopped doing it for a little while because we were actually getting too many orders and I didn't have enough people trained on it, so it was making the turnaround time a little bit high.
Okay.
But the thing with our domains that you won't find anywhere else is it's based around this triple T model, and we get relevant domains that I don't see them sold anywhere else. You know, if you want to rank for plumbing, we find old expired plumbing domains, and nowhere else do I see that for sale anywhere.
I have, on that note, with what Roman just said, we find old plumbing domains. What is a more effective link? A domain relevant link or a page relevant link? Little MiniNet building tip here. Which one is going to move you harder and further and faster? Something that's relevant at the domain level or something that's relevant at the page level? Absolutely, Ira. Domain.
Yeah. Yep. It's going to be domain. It's, if you can get, because it's harder to game, right? You know. So
the guest post can be thrown up on something, you know, really quick. Theme right there.
Yep, exactly. But if you can't get it, then page is still really good. And I
know why they're saying page. They want page. You want page relevance too, but typically a domain relevant domain is going to have every page relevant to what you're actually promoting. So you're not wrong if you're saying page, because I know what you mean by that. You want the relevance on the page, of course, but if you have the relevance on that page and then every other page on the website, it's stronger than a website about, say, look at Forbes. You know, you get a page on there that's relevant to your niche, but the whole site's about everything in its mother, right? So that's the difference.
Yeah.
And when you've got something like, let's say, the word plumber or plumbing existing inside your domain name itself, every page that you add increases more relevancy on that domain. So it could be about a different topic, you know, something related more specific about plumbing, but at the same time, you're getting another page about plumbing, another URL that's existing, and that's your URL string. So every page that you add is just reinforcing it over and over and over.
Yep.
Which is exactly what you want to be doing.
If I'm in CA and the expired domain has a geo plus niche like Chicago, should I get it for a MiniNet? Yeah, you can. I would probably build it out and try and monetize it for Chicago or Illinois, but then you can still link over because it is still relevant. If it's, you know, an HVAC site, you know, linking a Chicago HVAC site linking to a San Diego HVAC site, that's still extremely relevant.
If you're moving to California and you're looking for HVAC services, we recommend so-and-so, you know, so you just get creative how you build your relevance. So absolutely.
Yep, exactly. So this is the right URL for the MiniNet Finder, the expired domains, right, Roman? /pbn-domain.
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay, yeah, just in case.
I use SERPspace to find my domains.
Yeah, I had a few people ask. Yeah, they're really solid. So, so build for traffic. That means multiple internal pages. Just like we saw up here, you're going to build a bunch of internal pages because it brings in traffic. You can laser target the on page, all that good stuff. So you don't want to have like just a few posts from your blog roll and that's it, right? You want to have a ton of them because it brings in more traffic, makes your site stronger as a whole. So I build it out with SERPx for internal content. I let it simmer. That's Jordan's favorite term, simmer. So I let it simmer, meaning I build it and just forget about it for a week or two. Come back and check it out. Does it have rankings? If it has rankings, it probably has traffic. Then it's good enough to use for linking, you know, at that point. if it's not ranking, maybe something's wrong with the domain, or maybe, your keyword sets aren't exactly right. So I would get that right first before linking most of the time, especially if you're going direct to your money site. SERPx does have a feature for auto linking, but I use that if I've got a Web 2.0.
That's for guest posts or 2.0s,
Yeah, some higher authority stuff. I'll throw those in, and SERPx will build out the links to those pages automatically as it builds a page. That you don't have to go back and manually do. But if I'm sending it to my money site or a very important link that I want to push, then I'll go in and add it manually. So,
Roman, there's a quick question. Are you taking D8 trust flow into account on the EDs, or are you sticking with triple T? Because I'm going to answer that. Go ahead.
Yeah. So hopefully my connection doesn't mess up again, but it's really strictly triple T, and there's a few reasons why.
Exactly.
It's very difficult and this is the shortcoming of Moz. This is the shortcoming of Majestic, shortcoming of all of these different link aggregator programs that are out there. They can't factor in relevancy. There's nothing in there with those scores that factors relevancy. They can't. Relevancy cannot be measured with a metric. It's a word. So
it's very deep, actually, and that's something we should get Houston on for.
Yeah, it's a complex. It really comes down to a very complex conversation with that. But essentially, we're looking at the referring domains, and we're gauging it based on the backlinks first and foremost.
Exactly.
It's all about what someone's saying about what somebody's saying about you, right? It's not just one level deep. So it is about the distance graph and the graph that's there when it comes to these expired domains. And that's why I said I use SERPspace, because I don't have time, Brad doesn't have time, Jordan doesn't have time to go out and do the type of research that is required to grab a domain that will pull ranks in less than 24 hours with the right technology behind it, right? Yeah. So I really do recommend, if you're doing this yourself, that you really focus on traffic and relevance. If you're going to focus on something, focus on those two, Yep.
Yeah, and we had a question, do you set them up with SSL? I typically don't, because most of the time they weren't set up with SSL before. Certain niches, if you want to push and really make it into a pretty badass money site, and everyone else in that niche is, then you might go ahead, but make sure you're redirected properly if you're doing that. So all the links count correctly that are coming into it. Should we avoid installing Yoast? I typically don't install Yoast on mine, but you can. But I just don't take the time to do it because I'm trying to.
I'm going to make a real quick question. There's mentions about topical, trust flow, and Majestic and everything. And I'll say that comes close to theme. It doesn't come close to relevance. There's a difference, right? So when we're talking about true relevance and getting down to the keyword groupings and the clustering, it's not going to get close enough for what we like to do with our mininets and our geonets and stuff like that. So you are correct that it comes close to theme. I still love.
It's their attempt. It's their attempt. Yeah.
Yes. It's a great way to visualize really quickly. Okay, this might be a good domain.
Yeah. When linking out to the money site, they're asking about anchor text. Do you use naked URLs, target keywords? It depends on what your current, what you've already done, to be honest. So I like to save my bigger keywords, or my bigger anchor text for that, my main keywords, or like a rendition of brand plus keyword. But without looking at the current backlink portfolio, I couldn't comment on it 100%.
If I'm starting a campaign, and we should probably wait till the end to answer the questions. Maybe we should just get through the presentation
that's fine.
for those that have to jump, and then we'll come back through the questions, because we can go on about all these topics.
For sure. So how to link this is when you're boosting your guest posts or Web 2.0s. You can throw that directly into SERPx if you're building it with SERPx, and then it links out here. Now, when we let it simmer is when we're going from the MiniNet direct to the money site. So just keep that in mind, that if you just want to use SERPx or the MiniNets to boost your tier 1, where if you're running an agency and you want to have links that you can actually show clients that you don't have possession of. Of course, you own the MiniNets, and send them a link, a spreadsheet of those. Then I do vanity links with guest posts and come behind them with mininets to push them. And you could set all that up in SERPx pretty easily. So,
and that does make a strong link for you because
this is how you tier 3 tiers back, because you've got a mininet that has niche relevant links going into it. So that would be tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. So you're tiered all the way back because you've got page
and
relevant.
ultimately you want posts that are at a minimum page relevant, of course, but domain relevance is always going to be a freaking godsend for you.
Yeah, exactly. So another topic. So this is where everything else we've briefly touched on at least a little bit in the past. This is something new. So if you've heard any of our webinars anywhere else, we haven't really covered this outside of the paid courses. So what's that?
I want to answer this question very badly, and I just said let's answer it at the end. But this one I think is important. It's about the expired domains, and I've seen many expired domains being sold for backlinks, but they have no traffic and no ranking. Is it worth it? Not if you do not build triple T on it. If you actually build it by hand or you build it with SERPx, whatever the heck you want to build it with, if you actually build that domain out correctly, then it will reactivate that profile. And this is why when you hear people say, oh, expired domains are subpar to auction domains, or they don't work or whatever, because there's been people that argue that all over the place. And the aspect is that they don't realize that they're building things like old PBNs. They're not building a triple T MiniNet, and they're not reactivating the backlink profile. When you reactivate that backlink profile, then absolutely it is worth it. If you're not going to reactivate it, then I would say don't even bother. Buy a link.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. Go by guest posts.
It's like paid.
Yeah. Something. Yeah.
What's that, Roman?
I said that also goes for, recreating some of those old inside pages and things like that. If you see the backlink profile that there's a lot of pages on an inside page, or a lot of links, on an inside page, you need to rebuild that back out.
And link from that page.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, someone actually asked that, but Mike told me not to answer any questions. But since Roman mentioned it, when I say rebuild it from the way back, I mean I go to archive.org, I throw the domain in there. If you can see what was on it before, and it should be niche relevant if you're grabbing niche relevant links, then you can rebuild those pages. So I just copy and paste it into whatever theme I'm using. And you can use a free theme, premium theme. The theme really doesn't matter that much, especially with these. I try and make it look halfway decent, but that's because I'm kind of OCD about those, but you really don't have to. I've seen some of Jordan's, and he leaves the sample page in the
sample
menu,
page,
actually.
dude.
So it helps
Hello.
Yeah, he's
I'm getting
looking
mad
for sample
rankings with
page.
sample page.
Yep.
I get the whole first page for sample page, man.
Exactly. Yeah, he cleared it. So because he's the only one that leaves it in the menu apparently. So the MiniNet variations, I thought this is pretty cool to cover. So we've got Geo mininets, we've got niche mininets, and we've got niche plus Geo. So Geo is when you and you'll see all this. I've laid it out. I've got it in a spreadsheet that we can go through it in depth in a second. But Geo is when you grab, like Greensboro weather, and you go after a bunch of those terms because you've got a client in Greensboro and you want a just geographical relevant site. So you can use SERPx or whatever to build these out. Just throw the keywords in there, let it run. It'll grab content. It'll rank because no one else is freaking going for that kind of crap, and it's going to get traffic. So if we have time, we might cover some monetization on those. I know we get a lot of questions about that in the GMB course, but yeah, just if we have time. Niche mininets are, say, I want to rank for Joe's Plumbing in Greensboro. But I want to build a national site, or I want to build out every single city or every single long tail term about plumbing. So how to install pipes, or how to, I'm not a plumber, obviously. I have to call John's Plumbing. But it's going to be a bunch of niche relevant pages on there, not necessarily with Geo in there. So not
it's going to focus on the niche itself. Yeah, exactly.
Yep. You go after subterms. How do you clog a DIY drain clearing or something like that?
Yeah, you want to win a lot of long tails just in that niche, and use those pages to link up into, say you've got your Geo for Chicago, and then you've got your niche site for plumbing
Yep.
So you're going to get your geo-relevant backlink there from the Geonet, and then you're going to go ahead and grab the niche relevance on your backlink profile from the plumbing site, right?
And
so
another cool thing about geo and niche is, say you have a big geo network built out. Now this is something we really haven't covered before, so listen up if you can. If you have a geo net, so say I've got a web design firm, I've got an SEO firm in Greensboro, right? So I've got a bunch of clients in Greensboro because that's the only place I advertise. How many times do you think I could use this GeoNet? You know, you could do a page about, say I get a plumber in Greensboro. I could do a page about plumbers in Greensboro. This is the best freaking plumber in Greensboro. I could rank that page. That in turn ranks my client. And then say I get a, let's see, what can we get?
A roofer.
Yeah, okay, roofer. Yeah, I'm trying not to give out anyone's niches, but all my niches come to mind.
That's a very common niche.
Yeah, so roofing. So say I get a roofer then, so I can slap another page on there. I can, best roofers in Greensboro. I can do a review of his business. I can link over. It looks legit. So you can use these multiple times. Same thing with niche. A lot of people just focus on HVAC or just focus on plumbers or just focus on roofers. So you build out this huge, we've got in a few different niches, we've got some huge niche nets out there where we target a bunch of different terms. They really look like money sites because we actually get articles for them. Then we have SERPx running in the background. But say you've got multiple HVAC clients, you can create a profile on that site and you can link out. And then niche plus geo, it kind of pigeonholes you a little more, but you can't get any more relevant than that. That's when.
Hey Jordan, what did it GeoNet wise? How many did you need for your network and your location for the clientele and your own personal sites? What did you kind of put together there?
It varies, but I build for the Geonets. I build about usually about 10 to 15 on average.
That's super solid. I mean, if you think about that, that's 10 to 15 super solid, extremely geo-relevant backlinks. What is that going to cost you if you're renting links monthly or buying them just flat fee, because 15 of those are going to do some freaking damage to your campaign, right?
In a good way.
Damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess I kind of feel bad because some of the pages are actually ranking higher than my clients.
Yeah, that happens.
That happens.
So, but it works really, really well, especially if you guys are focusing. I mean, I focus in. I live in Utah. I have a few clients out there, and I built probably about 15, or I think I'm up to 20 now in Utah.
And again, that just makes your SEO easier because sorry, excuse my language. I'm trying to keep it clean tonight. How much freaking work does that take to just go in and post a link and then you can spread that out 15 months and they're ranking for everything by the end of that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Plus, if you add in all the other stuff like entity building and press releases and all that good stuff, it's just game over. So what does this all do? We'll kind of wrap back around, regroup.
I think I interrupted you. We were talking about niche geo sites. I'm going to ask them, what is a niche geo site then? What kind of keyword would you post in a niche geo site?
Let's see if we can. Exactly.
Anybody?
Plumber, Chicago, Boston plumber.
There you go.
Exactly. And then you can do, I'll show you an example again. I'll show you examples of all of these and how you build out the keyword sets. But you just grab every city in North Carolina and you freaking build out plumber plus this or best plumber in Greensboro, North Carolina, whatever you want to do. So,
yes, Alvin.
Circling back, what does this all do? It creates trust 3 tiers back if you're using it like this. Otherwise, it's 2 tiers back. It's still going to kick ass. It really, really tightens up the theme. It helps with indexation. Backlinks are the best way to index anything. Good backlinks. I mean, you can fire up Scrapebox and send them to your tier 1, but that's not going to do shit. But good backlinks will help index everything. And this will provide, once you get this down, you've got a proven system that you can start implementing that works. You can start doing it ASAP. So, see what we got here. I think, we'll go over this slide and then I'll hop into the other stuff. So here, again, with SERPx, please do not overcomplicate it. we helped Roman make it, or we came to Roman with the idea. Roman took it to the absolute next level, especially when he brought Houston in with all the LSI crap that I don't understand that he put into it, but it's working, so I don't care. Don't overcomplicate it because all the complicated stuff is taken care of. You just put your keywords in. We're going to show you how to do that tonight, how to group them, and then you just hit go. So first thing I do is I build my keyword list in a spreadsheet. I separate those by categories if needed. If I'm being lazy, I just freaking throw them in. I upload those to SERPx. Anyone in here that's used SERPx knows how to do that. I typically use the default settings scrapers. You can pick and choose what search engines it grabs from for the content, but don't try and reinvent the wheel. Just throw everything in, hit go. Once you have rankings and traffic, you can start using them to link to your money site. It's that simple. So just hit go and you're good. So would it be beneficial for me to walk through an example? I think Roman said we would. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So
You guys want to see Brad build site?
sounds fun, doesn't it? So I threw this together and I used Ahrefs, and I'll show you how I did Ahrefs or used Ahrefs in a minute. So I've got Geo here. So here's all I did to get this Geo list, right? So I tried typing in just Charlotte into Ahrefs, the keyword planner, but that didn't come back right because it was people's names and shit like that. So I did Charlotte, North Carolina. So it came back with all these Geo modifiers. Then I just did a find replace and just made it Charlotte. So all you do is go over to anyone that has Ahrefs. If you don't, then hook up with people that do and split the cost or go find group buys. I don't care. But get Ahrefs. Go to Keyword Explorer. And I think I just did Charlotte, North Carolina. Hit search. There's a few different places you can go here. You see, I mean, just Charlotte, North Carolina gets it. University of Charlotte, North Carolina. That's a college. That's relevant. I like to go to search suggestions, and a lot of times you can pick up plenty of them there. It has to think. That takes a little while. While that's going, we'll build a niche geo. Okay, so if we did emergency dentist in, I just grabbed every city in North Carolina. You can get that from Wikipedia, wherever. This, all I did was, here, I'll delete this. I'll show you how I build it. So emergency dentist in, I put a space, and then the city, and then space North Carolina. So that's going to be my keyword on everything. So I hit equals, this, hit the and sign, this, hit the and sign, this. There we go. And then all I do is drag that down. See how many cities are in North Carolina, at least in this database. And again, if you're building out a niche geo site, you can do emergency dentist, cosmetic dentistry. You can do this a bunch of times and separate that out by category. There we go. So that would be 768 keywords that I can just drop in. You can use
any. We're not telling you to use any tool. Ahrefs, that's cool. But if you use a different tool, you can do that as well. Like this is your keyword research is your process. If you got something that works for you, we're not going to change it and slow you down. We want you to make money. You know. So if you got something working for you, don't freaking worry about it. You don't have to do it just the way we do it because we say this is how to do it. This is what works for us. You know, do what works for you.
And they're deciding to take a while, so I'll open that in a new tab. It's probably, 840 keywords for Charlotte, North Carolina. So I just hit export here, and this is how I got that list. And then another one I go to is questions, maybe newly discovered. Play around with it, see which ones you like. So I just put it in a text file, and where it's anywhere it says Charlotte, North Carolina, I just do Charlotte. So you've got Charlotte map, Charlotte hotels. Like you're going to start to rank for some of this crap because look at the keyword difficulty. Charlotte, North Carolina, Craigslist. It's going to be you and Craigslist up there. Who optimizes for that? But it's going to get traffic, right? Pictures of Charlotte, North Carolina. It's got a 0 difficulty.
You think you're going to get some Google traffic from 0 difficulty keywords?
Exactly. So you're doing this to pull in traffic. So
then build trust.
exactly. So that's Geo. So if I've got a client in Charlotte, I'm going to throw all of these in there and build out my niche MiniNet or my Geo MiniNet. Sorry about that. And then for niche MiniNet, what I do is I'll go to good old Google and types of dentist services is how I did this. So I've got all these. So I just grabbed all these. So all of these are relevant to dentists, right? So fillings and restorations, tooth extractions, wisdom teeth removal, root canals, blah, blah, TMJ, all this stuff is relevant, extremely relevant to the dental niche, right? So then you get all of these, like you just saw. I copy that. I throw it into Ahrefs, all of these. So it's going to get a mixture. It's going to get root canal keywords, dental sealant keywords, fillings and restoration keywords, all that stuff. And they're going to go slow because they know I'm on a webinar. But what it spits back out, and again, I go to search suggestions. I've noticed that does pretty well. You can go to all, but it's going to give you a bunch of crap most of the time. Phrase match is going to be exactly the same on everything, so I don't really like using phrase match. I really like using search suggestions and questions because questions are good. If someone's searching on their phone, you could quite possibly end up, Siri, search for this. It could pop up for that type of stuff. So, or Google Home, whatever. So you're going to end up with something like this: dentist near me, dentist office near me. Are you going to rank for that? Probably not, but you're going to get some of these long tails. Dentists that accept Medicaid near me. Who's going after that? I doubt that many people. You might be able to rank page 1 for a national level term like that, right? Dentist near me open Saturday. That's long tail. All of these, and then you get into some of the other keywords down here somewhere. So yeah, canine teeth cleaning. All of these are extremely relevant to dentists. Is everyone seeing how the difference between a geo site, a niche site, and a niche geo site? Post yes, no, maybe. My eyes are crossed because I'm trying to get through everything so we can answer all the questions. All right, cool. So we have a Virgin installation here. So I just went out and got, dentalUSnow.live. I'm not using this for anything, so feel free to spam the shit out of it if you want to. But I just want to walk through how we do it. So say I want to build a freaking monster site, and I'm going to do niche, I'm going to do geo, and I'm going to do niche plus geo. So we're just going to add everything in here. So
traffic site.
Exactly. So we'll just make a category called Charlotte.
So while Brad's doing this, you can build 25 page super highly relevant keyword group domains, or you can build thousands of pages that are relevant to multiple categories that are themed together and pull traffic. You can use this to replace pretty much everything out there, and that's why we use it. So
I built like 25 sites a couple weeks ago, and each of them have
it took
about
you like a couple
100,000.
weeks to build those, right?
Yeah, it's still building.
No, I'm joking. Yeah, you set everything up in a day, right?
Yeah, I set everything up in a day, but I mean, it just depends on what your needs are, and if you're targeting an area like Charlotte that probably has a metro suburb cities of maybe like 15 cities in the whole area.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
So you're probably going to build these sites for every category that you're targeting. So if you're going out there five different niches, then you're going to have 5 times 15. So
exactly.
It just depends on how you have it set up and what you're targeting.
Yep. So now that I've got I've got 3 categories to just match the niche geo. Usually I don't mix them like this, but I want to show everyone how to add different categories and how to group them and everything. So these you can leave the same. I do like to do DuckDuckGo as well. I haven't been using the content bank. I used to a lot, and you'll notice in the SERPx training that I do use it. But it's getting content and building content better than I can, so I just let it do its thing now. So save changes, keyword config, I'm just going to go to add keywords, one keyword per line. So we'll go to Charlotte, and this is why I set everything up in a spreadsheet, right? So we're going to grab all of these Charlotte-related terms so we can rank the hell out of our Charlotte dentist. Damn, how many terms is it?
If you just copy paste the column and plug it in, it should pull everything in.
I'll try that. So Charlotte, make sure you put it in the right category. Yeah, that puts.
I think we should put some Excel lessons in SERPspace.
There you go.
We actually have some Excel lessons coming out.
So add keywords, and then we're going to go to add keywords up here again. We'll go to dental. Grab this. So go to the niche, copy it, paste it, add keywords, and then one more time. I just named it NC. I don't know what else to name it. I mean, the categories aren't a huge deal. I'd like to leave them like somewhat relevant, but delete the blank space. And the one at the top, it says keywords. So we're good there. Add keywords. Done. So then SERPx settings, and this is simple. So I like to, I mean, if you're just busting through it and you want to get it done, it's set up automatically. Number of posts per run 3, number of runs per day 10. So that means it's going to do 3 times 10, 30 posts a day. What I like for it to do is post pretty regular. So I'll do like run 24 times, so that'll run every hour, and then like do, 1, 2, 3, whatever you want to do. So we'll just do 2 runs every hour. So it's going to run 48 times. So save changes, and that's it. If you want to go to advanced settings and do, I always have interlinking enabled. I don't ever use the cross-link between this. The attribution linking, Roman, that's just like linking out to where it got some content from, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So the only thing here is if you're building a niche plus geo, I would probably turn this off because you're going to end up linking to your competition. Otherwise, if you're just going the geo net, then it doesn't really matter. You can do that. And then use external links. If you're linking to your tier 2, you can use that, but if not, you can turn both of these off and then save changes. I don't mess with proxies. I don't enable spin tax. You don't have to do anything with this. If you want to kind of backdate it, you can just put in a random number here. And if you want to schedule some posts, you can kind of bang your head on the keyboard there. And then hit save changes. And what that'll do is kind of backdate the post from today, so it looks like you've been posting a little bit longer, but Google can tell the difference, so it doesn't really matter. But that's it. So within 24 hours, we should have some posts up, and with a little luck, we'll have some rankings. Not every time you're going to rank in 24 hours. It all depends on your keywords and how much time and effort you put into those, and what published first, in what order. But within a few days, you should see some rankings coming through. Whew. Was that quick enough, guys?
That was
clear
probably
enough?
faster
It's a pretty
than
quick
I did.
What's that?
That's fast.
Pretty quick site.
Yeah, and if you don't want to throw content on there, you don't have to. If this is from way back, or if you have a way back on here archive, then I would go ahead and build that out. So I do take some extra time with EDs because I did put either time or money into finding them. So I want to get the best bang for my buck. So I'll throw that, and it doesn't take long to go to Wayback and copy and paste some pages. Everyone knows how to do that. Yeah, we've got an example site coming up in a second. So yeah, that's actually next, I think. So Jordan allowed us to use this one, the TW Pest Control. Was this expired?
It was. It's not live right now, but most of the pages are still indexed.
Oh, it's not up.
It's not up, but all the pages most of the pages are still up.
All right, cool.
Or they were.
Or they were.
Yeah, it looks like it got taken down. No, we cannot have a.
Yeah, you can't use HTTP. I just checked.
There we
Yeah,
go.
they should.
Oh, you did build it on the dub.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got here. This one was one that ranked like what within a few days or something.
Yep.
Just do it without the
There's a sample page.
Yeah, there's your sample page. I wish we could show everyone how great this looked. Trying to find.
It was very ugly.
No, this is the one I had the overlay on it.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah.
Just try this one. See if it's ranking for anything.
Termite. Brad's a termite. Did you bring up the stats?
I got lucky last time because it had a weird B one. Yeah, it's probably not ranking because you don't have the site up.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, no, bring up the stats so we can see, because that was
on the third page.
yeah, it was live. So you got let's see, DA18, page authority, citation flow, blah blah blah. So yeah, we went out, or Jordan went out and found that. Did you find this yourself, or did you get it somewhere?
Yeah, I found it myself.
Cool. So I mean, if you have a pest control client that's a huge niche, you grab this. It's got pest control in the freaking domain. I would be extremely excited if I found something like this. You build stuff out like these, the cat pest termite control, BA termite pest inspection. Oh wait, this is, here we go. Termite removal. How do you say that? Cheshire.
Yeah.
Bee removal dimming. I think that was one that you were ranking for. Probably not, since you don't have it up now. But
It should still pull up though.
the bees.
I'm gonna rebuild this site on a new hosting.
Is that what happened to it?
Yeah.
You crapped out the hosting.
Yep.
That means it had a nice crawl budget if they already pulled it.
Yeah. But anyway, you get the point. This was a niche geo, did really well. Content example, I think everyone in here has seen it. If you haven't, just go grab a small package and you'll see it. Does very, very well. It internally links.
the content's not spun is a key point. It's not. No, there's no grammar issues. It's readable content, and it's post types that are used by highly trafficked publisher sites. I mean, we use these types of post types on a site that was just receiving over like 4 million uniques a month, and it still does. So it's content that you could use on a tier 1 site like I have in the past with your writers. It's just done automatically. We are not about spin tax. However, you can, I believe we still have the ability to do an intro and an outro, right, Roman?
Sorry, I missed what you said. I was reading.
We still have the ability to put in high spin tax intro and outro in there, don't we?
Yeah, that should still.
And you can, if you want to build tier 1 sites, you can do it with high quality spin tax on the intro and outro. But we're not going to go too deep into that, but we probably will go into that here as we get deeper into kind of site builds and stuff in further webinars. So.
Yep, exactly. So
This is a mass. That's the cool thing, Nick. Nick is asking, would this work well on mass page builder sites? You can replace any mass page builder site with this. You can do anything you want with this. That's why I like it, the freedom. That's why we use it.
Yeah, it doesn't just have to be expired domains. You guys can use this for any mass page on brand new domains if you wanted to.
Yeah, somebody was asking about putting this on a money site, and I'm not going to sit there and advocate and tell you to put it on a money site, but I've seen people do it with amazing results.
I do it.
Every site is a money site
Yeah.
for me. So.
I do it.
Yeah, I don't crank out like 100 a day or anything on a money site.
I probably want to do this for a client, but if you're doing this for like lead gen and stuff like that,
Yep.
definitely.
Exactly. Yeah, you can do it for ecom. I saw that question earlier too. Someone else asked it, so it's good that it came back. What I do with ecom, if I'm building out the keywords, so say you're selling candles, right? So buy candles in city state is how I would typically do it for ecom. And you can drive traffic. If you've got a client, he wants to rank for man candles, the ones that smell like leather.
We did that.
I know, didn't we? That's an actual product. It's not fresh linen; it's fresh like jockstrap or whatever. But we did that. He got a bunch of traffic. He got sales off of it, and we could use it to push his Amazon listing. Yeah, exactly. So we had an asset, a group of assets that we could use for linking, and we use them for traffic. So yeah, barbershop is good. Yeah.
So how is a restaurant site related to San Diego?
It's quiz time. SEO in 2019.
I want to make sure everyone that's new understands when we talk about relevance and theme.
I'll take man candles for Christmas anytime. Yeah. It's got to smell better than my office does right now. I've got my gym bag in here.
How is a restaurant site related to San Diego? Can't go on to coupons or anything gift-wise until we know that you understand how it is.
Directory listing. It's pretty close.
I think my net's slow because I'm not seeing any movement on anything.
People in San Diego, which means whales' genitals go to restaurants, Kenny says. That could be right. People in San Diego probably do go to restaurants. Best restaurants in San Diego.
There they all came through. Exactly. Travel, right? It's actually what kind of site is this? Is this a niche site or is this it probably could be two different types of sites.
It depends on the client. Yeah. If your client's not in the restaurant business and it's just a page on there, then it's probably a geo.
Exactly. And if it's actually a restaurant in San Diego, it's a golden freaking link, right? So just really think about how you relate things, how things can be related, right? It's really important to understand the relation. You really need to know that relevance is key to everything that you're doing, whether you're using SERPx building networks or you're buying links or you're renting links or you're just going out there and link begging for guest posts, right? Your white hat and you're begging everybody. And basically, it's important to know how things tie together. Tie everything together and think like that all the freaking time. So we have another one. I think we already asked everybody.
Domain or page-based relevance. See if everyone's.
Which one's stronger, domain relevance or page relevance? Yep, domain, exactly.
Kenny got here late.
So did Trey.
Yeah.
But Trey's pretty much late for everything.
Yeah, and the reason domain relevance is better is because it's a lot harder to game, in my opinion. That's why they give more play to it. Yeah.
I mean, you're getting a laser targeted domain word potentially in the domain name. Every page is relevant.
So, last point: monetize everything now. Going back up to even the Geonets, because that's the hardest thing for people to wrap their heads around monetization of. How would you monetize? Just brainstorm. How would you monetize a Geonet, where it's covering stuff like this? So say it's a Geonet based in Charlotte. How would you do it? What are you? I mean, people looking for these type of terms: Charlotte Theater, Charlotte Escape Room. That's probably actually a pretty good keyword. What are they looking for?
Amazon affiliate.
And where are they going to be?
Someone's
Business
not
ads
sure.
with Geo, CPA, sell ad space. You could do that. Deals on local stuff.
Links.
That's what I would do. I would probably find some type of coupon affiliate for Charlotte and slap that bad boy on there, either in the sidebar.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of travel research, any type of discounts. Like if you've got a Los Angeles site, then Disneyland is right nearby. So is, Knott's Berry Farm. So any type of sites that are ticket affiliates or anything like that, that would be essential to have on there and start promoting. You really want to, again, monetize everything and really get creative on how you monetize that. You don't want one stream. You can have more than one revenue stream on every site. You can start selling freaking, if you're getting enough traffic, you can sell the damn freaking views.
Go freaking RPM based.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, if you really want to go a step further, you could use it for list building. Sign up here to get the best deals in Charlotte or whatever. Get them on a messenger bot and just send them random crap. Who cares? Probably don't send them random crap. Just send them stuff that you think they'll like. But
I used to do sites with this that were based on reviews for different businesses and call up the business and say, I need to sell ad space on your page. I'd rather sell it to you than your competitor.
Yep.
And it worked, So you can get creative when it comes to revenue generation for your websites.
Exactly. Yeah, you could, Nick. So
exactly, Nick.
Yeah. I just want to make sure everything's clear. I know there were a bunch of questions. Any questions that didn't get answered? We want to make sure we get those. Yeah. Post them if you got questions. We'll hit.
If you haven't posted them, we're going to start back up.
No, they're going to post them again.
All right. Post your questions again because Brad is mean. Tips for categories. We don't want to over-optimize category plus keyword, correct?
I usually I either use a geo like NC or North Carolina if I'm doing or Charlotte. Like you can have Charlotte as a category, then have everything related to Charlotte. That's not overdoing it because Charlotte's a huge term. If you're doing plumbers, I would probably do plumbing or something like that. Or you can do a sub if you're doing all the subcategories of plumbing, then it doesn't really matter. But just
right.
And even if you over optimize, I mean, you're going after long tail stuff. Most of the time.
If you want to get nerdy and you want to get as safe as possible, you're going to be looking at what's going on in your market and doing the correlation research before you do this anyway. So generally speaking, you're going to make sure that you are using related terms that are not over optimizing your URL structure or your title structure.
It's a good question. If I get a Wayback Rebuild, it'd be HTML, not WordPress. How do you combine the two? I don't buy the Wayback Rebuild. I just go to Wayback and copy and paste the content to a new WordPress page.
Yeah.
That's all I do.
And you take all the ones that have links to the
URL
home
structure.
page.
Yeah, exactly.
So I could build a brand new WordPress site, install SERPx, and then target my tier 1 and tier 2 IFTTT blogs to power them up. Still a bit confused. Yes, you can actually,
Yeah,
and we do.
Yeah, that's a solid strategy.
You're not confused, man. You got it.
Because IFTTT is going to power up the new domain as the posts go out to the network, and then that's going to power up everything down the line.
And we've talked about expired domains and auction domains. I use a lot of new domains because in a month and a half, you're going to have trust because you're going to have traffic from Google on certain terms. So I do a mix of expired. I do a mix of expired and new domains, depending on what I'm trying to accomplish, right? Because if I do a new domain, I can get my keywords in that URL, in that domain, and go extremely niche relevant rather than a branded domain or whatnot. Sometimes it's easier to get the niche relevance in a new domain and then just build that traffic and trust. Because I'm monetizing everything that I do as well, right? So if you keep those rules of monetization and triple T, then you're going to be solid across the board.
Yeah, somebody was asking about hosting their money site on the same IP as the SERPx.
Yeah, don't do that. Not if you're going to use it for linking.
Not do that. Because Google is looking at the IPs of the links. They're looking at the IPs every step of the way, right? So, and that goes, it goes forward and backwards. So they're looking at, what's linking to what based on the IPs in both directions. So definitely do not do that.
Yeah, you want to be careful. And I think that as we kind of jump into more talk on this, and with what I've heard that's coming out of the woodwork from Houston and Roman, some of that's going to be handled pretty easily. There is a question: would the ED already need to be a geo relevant by the keywords you put on it? If you buy an ED that is not geo relevant, it's probably going to be niche relevant. So once you start building it, it's going to be a niche relevant domain because of your backlink profile. So I would embrace the niche relevance and go niche, either niche or I'd go niche geo.
Yeah, I usually go niche geo. I'll build out in the original location, then I'll build more locations, if I need more geo relevance for a certain client. But I always look for niche. I don't look as much for geo because they're harder to find. Niche is easier.
Is home improvement too big a niche to use for several types of contractors? Domain XYZ home improvement, categories HVAC, plumbers, roofing. No, you're really
awesome.
themed in that case. Yeah, no, you're very themed right there. And that is absolutely something that you can gather traffic on. You can build a site. Man, there's sites out there that are built this way that are 6-7 years old that Google considers authorities that are making more money than you would actually believe on a daily basis. So we want to talk about that. So you can go broad, yes.
Yeah. Do you block backlink tools from your SERPx sites so competitors don't see your links? No, because I make them look halfway decent at least, so I don't care.
Yeah, they are not bad links. I mean, it really comes down to what market you're in. If I was still doing pharma, I'd probably block it. I'd probably cloak some stuff. But in everyday markets, you're not going to need to worry about that, man.
Do you block? Oh, wait, read that one.
If you have 10 categories,
yeah, go ahead.
And you're doing 2 posts at 10 runs, is it 2 posts per category?
It'll randomly choose. So
yeah.
Is it even
build
Roman, or I've never even looked, but it'll post randomly. It seems like to me.
What was the question, Brad?
If say you're pumping out, if you got 10 categories and you say, okay, SERPx, build 20 posts a day, is it going to build out 2 in each category, or is it going to just do it randomly?
It's going to be the total amount. So it's going to split them up based on.
Okay, so it does split them evenly. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
If we're building out a SERPx site for, say, a variety of keywords for plumbing services in Houston and surrounding cities, should you limit each site to categories under slab leak repair, drain cleaning, sewer repair, and not try to include all the other keywords like water heater repair, fixture installation, seat setting, toilets, repipe, etc.? If you keep the SERPx site, let me see if I'm on the right one. Category based.
Yeah, I probably, when I build them out, I would probably just do a market level and then just pick your keywords based off of that. I wouldn't necessarily build like a bunch of subcategories. It's going to take a lot of time because, I mean, you look at something like HVAC. HVAC has air conditioning and all this other stuff underneath air conditioning, and
small
they have
air conditioning
and everything.
Units.
Yeah, so just make it super easy. Like for HVAC, just do like 3 or 4 of the main ones, and then just build out the keyword list, and you should be good to go.
Yeah, just
and the question also was about if you keep the SERPx site category based, it will be less pages, so you could stick with SiteGround for hosting versus microhost. Yeah, you can tailor these to the size you want by the way you build them for sure. The hosting really, from what I understand, is not going to be an issue going forward. It's going to be handled, I think. So essentially, you're right, but what Jordan said, I would go with the market level categories and build your longer tails underneath those. How many links from the MiniNet to tier 1 or 2 money site?
From one MiniNet or one MiniNet site, or
Yeah,
from the MiniNet itself?
Yeah, they mean one MiniNet site. Like how many tier 2 sites do you put in there?
One link from one site.
Once.
There's issues with double linking at this point.
No, but
and that's happened.
But say you have a Weebly, a WordPress, Joomla, all pointing to your money site. Can you put 3 of those?
3 to 5.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's what the question was. Yeah.
What kind of server?
Yeah. Go ahead.
What kind of server do you need for SERPx sites?
Depends on how hard you're running it, but.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, right now, Microsoft can work and Easy Blog Network can work, but not everything you get hosted on will actually work because everyone configures their servers differently.
Yeah, you got to change up the PHP on some of them. Again, Roman might or might not be coming out with a hosting solution for it that is a click button for everything. But yeah, don't want to get
how many IPs are they off of one server as well? You know what I mean? So you've got to do some very clever things in order to get more out of it.
Absolutely. I think we already answered this, but do they have to be on different IP hosting than the money site? Do they have to be on a different IP hosting? Yeah, that was already answered.
Yep.
You use IFTTT for each of these MiniNet sites? No, not each of them.
You
when
can,
we decide to.
If you want to, yeah.
When there's a reason to. If it's a client build and they're paying for it, then hell yes, we're going to do it. If it's a market where we think we need that kind of promotion for the sites, then we're going to do it. No plugins at all. Best way to track metrics. Do you use anything like Cloudflare or Google stuff for tracking? On the SERPx sites, I personally do not install analytics or anything.
You would have to have a separate analytics account for each one.
I would, if you did it, I would separate them.
Yeah, we set up everything out of the box to prevent footprints. So keep in mind that you could be causing footprints by when you start adding more things into it.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like we had a table of contents plugin that we used on some of our older mass builds, and Roman said, "This has got footprints everywhere. We're going to build our own into SERPx." So all right, I don't know how to do that. So he did it. So he tried to take into account a bunch of different.
It's unfortunate because it's got in order to keep the footprints out of it, it looks really ghetto. But that's what had to be done.
Exactly. And there was a question about the title mashup and the title rotation. And yes, there's very specific reasons why we change certain things. They're not just there because, but we also have there's other ways of that actually being done as well that are in the works at this point too. So nothing that is in there is a mistake at this point, other than bugs that could be in there from coding,
Absolutely, that was definitely intentional, and there's another version.
And there's a reason the sites rank within a day.
Yeah, exactly.
Compared to other stuff. So, could you point to multiple links in an IFTTT network from one domain, or would you just link to one first-tier link per SERPx site? Seems like 2 different topics.
No, he's asking the same as before. Yeah, you can link to like 3 or 4, maybe 6 at most. Can you just throw them in there? To try and a page 2 term up to page 1, could you add some POP or COG terms or social profile and IFTTT? Yeah, if it's a term that you really want to go for and you think it can bring in a solid amount of traffic, you can do that. Another thing we didn't cover is, so say for example, you link from an internal page. It's like the perfect page, So say you're trying to rank for Charlotte plumbers. You've got a client, right? So you have a page on your SERPx site that's like /Charlotte-plumbers or best Charlotte plumbers, whatever, but it doesn't have any links going to it, right? So what can you do to power it up? You can use internal linking, right, to power that up, kind of move juice around. And another thing is that I like to do a lot, I know Mike does a lot, is come behind that with the power posts. Or,
yep.
Is it power post on SERPx?
It is, yeah, absolutely. I use them all the time when it comes to that. So I like to have them dripped on a monthly basis, and I've been begging Roman to get a package in there for me to order that I can just press a button and say yes, please. Just build links to my SERPx site, especially because I use a lot of new domains, and it really does accelerate everything for me. So.
How tight detailed do you need to get for the categories like HVAC, AC, heating, furnace, etc.? Just all under HVAC? It depends on how you want to group it. You can do either, to be honest.
I would typically usually go, if I'm going to do a site that's about multiple home services, then HVAC would be a category and roofing would be a category. If I'm building a site about just HVAC, if there's keyword groupings, you want to think about rank brain and relevance. It's all about the relevance. If there's enough keywords to make something a group, then you're going to put that into a single category, okay? If there's not enough, if there's only one keyword, it doesn't need a category. If there's 10 or 20 keywords, then yes, you can pull it into a category to make a super relevant group.
Yeah, I would just say, just think of it this way. If you're making something that's geo, then use just HVAC. If you're making something that's niche, use HVAC and like 5 other categories next to that. So like HVAC, air conditioning, heating, and furnace or something like that.
Yeah.
But if you're just doing geo, just do HVAC. That's it.
Yep, exactly.
Sorry guys.
Go ahead.
Missed a part of webinar. So I can combine under one domain 3 MiniNet types, geo plus niche plus geoniche. How many domains should I set up this way to make a solid MiniNet structure? Should I interlink all of them? I would not be interlinking all of your MiniNet sites unless you really know what you're doing. And also, you're going to have a MiniNet that has geo sites, it has niche sites, and geo niche sites, not all of them as one.
I just did it all as one just so I didn't have to have 3 sites set up tonight. But that being said, you can mix some geo and niche. If
you can.
Say you get a new client and you had the client that was Charlotte, and then you get one in Raleigh, right?
You can do whatever you want.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
You're not limited to what we're talking about here. You can build site types that you would not believe. I have sites out there that people from Facebook come and look at and they think they're actually viral sites. There's a ton of stuff you can do. We'll probably get into that more as we get Houston on and talk about some of the deeper tech behind this and some of the patents. But that's why I like SERPx. I don't like the limitations of the other stuff out there. I've used many different softwares, but SERPx and its predecessor have been the most successful for me because I can do whatever the hell I want to do with my website.
You just drop the keywords in. Yep.
Designed to be robust.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And easy. What was it about IFTTT syndication and WordPress sites? You can throw IFTTT syndication on them if you want, but you don't have to, basically. Say you want to rank for bananas globally, would you build just major cities for the geo and niche is pretty defined already, but could spin to banana splits, etc. Other niches, your thoughts? Niche plus geo stuff. I would do like I still like the smaller, going after the smaller cities with this, especially if it's just dropping in a keyword, because you're going to pop those a lot quicker, where the larger cities are going to take time to kind of push up. So I would kind of do a hybrid on that. I don't like just going after like Chicago, New York, LA, because those are always going to be tougher. I like going after the smaller cities. Pick up a bunch of them. And then, of course, you can always throw market terms in there as well. I want to link to a lot of my clients' social sites. Would it be better to throw them into external linking part or put them in a sidebar? I would do the external linking part more than likely. That way it's random on internal pages and not on every page.
Absolutely. You want the contextual.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, not multiple ones together. You can get away with one external link that way, but not multiple.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to overdo it. So yeah, use the external linking or just manually link them in the best places.
Yeah.
We typically manually link.
Do you use privacy on these MiniNet domain? I always use privacy for everything that I get. Do you link to maps to push the 3-pack? Yeah, you could link to whatever you want to push for SEO purposes.
You absolutely. We might need to actually talk about that at some point on how to use them for map pushes and stuff. But that could be a whole webinar in and of itself.
Yeah.
So you absolutely can, man.
Go ahead.
I was going to mention on the privacy on the MiniNets, absolutely you can use the privacy. Everything works perfectly fine with it. There are benefits to not having to use that.
Yes, I agree.
And it certainly would increase things, but keep in mind that you're going to have a lot more stuff to manage with that. And you're going to have to really...
And I do a lot of profile stuff, Daddy. Because of the buying profiles. However, like Roman said, there's a lot more to watch out for, pay attention to. So privacy is kind of a default. But as in everything with SEO, you don't want to break thresholds. You don't want 100% of the customer's backlinks or the client's backlinks to be private hosted, private registration. You want a mix of it. So, but the nice thing is most of the time, websites already have backlinks. They already have people pointing at them, and you don't have to worry about that. So it's not a factor usually.
Is IP versus same hosting account the same, meaning same server but different IPs? I would just be careful doing them even on the same server. But yeah, you definitely want to switch up the IP.
Well,
yeah.
Yeah, as long as you know what you're doing and you're masking the fact that you're on the same server through the steps you have to take to mask that, then you'll be all right. But if you don't know what you're doing, then get them off the same server.
Does SERPspace suggest / advise any pages that should be built from way back when you buy niche domains? No, just look at them in way back and build everything you can is what I do.
The homepage. And then maybe internal pages that have a lot of backlinks.
Yeah. Or that are relevant too. If they're relevant, it's going to add relevance to your site. So
yeah, you could just pop it into Ahrefs and view the pages.
Most popular
pages most I think or most popular pages. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
And they'll all be there.
Exactly.
The percentage of links that go out to the money site versus tier 1 or lower links, how does that work? You can do anything you want. You have full control over the sites. So you can build any percentages, if you have theories or have tested percentages of this or that, you can do it all with SERPx because you have full control.
Yeah. Someone asked, what's an ED? It's an expired domain. So a domain that was live that someone just let go.
I thought that's why my wife was complaining about me.
No, she was complaining about your domains.
Oh, okay, good. In terms of MiniNet linking, that was from the question before. How long does it take to find an ED for us in SERPspace? Thanks for how do you set up a site for a national term, all niche and no geo? Okay, that's a different question. I thought they were the same. Sorry. So how long does it take to find an ED in SERPspace? Turnaround time, yeah.
Depends on the queue of orders that we have. So if it's the queue small, a couple days max. I mean, it also depends on how many domains you ask for too, right? So if we get an order for 50 or 100 domains, it's going to take a little bit longer to fill that. But yeah, it can be anywhere from a few days. If you ask for 100 plus, it might take you, let's say, 15 to 30 days to deliver that.
It's worth it though, guys. I'm telling you, the domains that come back from the team at SERPspace are freaking phenomenal. When I said domain relevance is what you want, that's how you get it. That's why Brad said it's the hardest to game. It really is. I mean, when you're going to build a network that is a domain relevant network, it's going to do amazing things for your SEO and your lead gen, but you got to make sure that you're getting someone like SERPspace to do it, and it's going to take a little bit of time because there's a lot of research that goes into a quality domain.
And like I said, I've never seen a service that offers that. And I've checked Fiverr. I've been through all these specific gigs.
I bought a bunch on Conquer back in the day. And they
Yeah,
were
this type of thing, they call it niche relevant, but what they mean is like the broad theme. They can't find
Yeah,
this.
they're talking market, top level market.
I would buy
essentially.
Rehab back in the day, and someone would send me a gambling site. I'm like, I could kind of see where you're going with that, but it's not a gambling addiction site. So, no, try again.
So how do you set up a site for a national term, all niche and no geo? Well, it kind of depends, right? If you set up a geo site that's covering national size levels, it could be potentially relevant there. But in a lot of cases with national sites, I'm going to be using a lot of niche.
Yeah, niche, and if you're able to do niche plus geo to pull in some traffic there, then you can do that too.
Geo's, like Brad said, Geo's nice because you actually get traffic in somewhat easier, which builds trust faster and makes a stronger site in the long run. What are too many posts per day on a brand new WordPress site? And you're talking a fresh domain. I like to do 1 to 5 posts. Do we delete uncategorized category? I do.
Yep, Sam.
No, I'll leave the sample page. No, I'm kidding.
I keep the Hello World post as my homepage.
Yeah, I like to rank for it.
Sorry, I don't want to confuse anyone. I had to.
Bella's having a good night tonight.
Yeah, she's certainly enjoying herself.
She's partying back there, brother. I love that dog. Where can I find the initial training videos for SERPx? Thanks.
If you've already bought it, here, let me. I'll grab a link real quick. One sec.
If you, yeah, I think you have to have purchased it to, right?
Yeah, but it's weird right now, so let me grab it.
You're weird. That's why my wife doesn't like you.
Yeah, that's why. I'm gonna send this out to everyone. Send to all. All right, there's a link for the training and everything if you guys want it. Even if you haven't bought it, you can look at it. But I mean, this is enough training, to be honest. We just walked through everything.
So 1 link per MiniNet site, got it. Do you ever point the MiniNets to keyword or entity stacks? Yes. Point them where you need to build relevance. Because remember, what is talking about you is just as important as the first tier.
Yep.
Are SERPx sites getting solid engagement and monetization if you go out of the box without an overlay? Yes, they are actually. Yeah. You got to get you need to know how you're building, but you can build tier 1 sites. Yes. Any date on when the SaaS might be available?
Yeah, Roman.
As soon as possible. We're working on it.
Well, it needs to be like yesterday. I'm tired of doing this shit by hand.
I know Roman doesn't put out like anything that is not solid and tested, so
he's not going to
the wait's worth it.
Yeah, I mean,
to me, the weight's worth it.
In terms of saying, it's actually done per se, but there's some other stuff that we need to finish bug testing and making sure it's all working, and then I need to make the UI a little bit easier for everybody to use. But basically, the idea behind it is that you can set up a bunch of sites in the time it's going to take you to set up one SERPx site. So you can set up your entire MiniNet. So it's going to be a lot faster.
Can you show how the linking anchor text is done once the site is ranked? That's, what I do is I like to use a lot of brand plus phrase, or branded, or brand plus irrelevant. So, I mean, we could show a link. Brad, do you want to pull up a notepad and write some anchor text?
No.
Do it. They interested. Okay, man.
All right, what are we trying to rank for?
We're
ranking for
What's the
triple
exact
P
keyword?
guest posts.
Mike's awesome plumbing.
No, we wouldn't rank for a brand. So do say Mike lives in Idaho. So
Mike lives in Idaho? No, I don't.
don't you?
No, I'm in San Diego.
Oh, all right. So keywords Idaho plumbing. So we might do Mike's plumbing. We might do
Mike's in Idaho.
Idaho plumbers.
No, Idaho Mike.
Mike the Idaho.
Mike. We might do URL. What else you got, Mike? In your
I used a lot of title. I love title match.
the title.
So the page you're targeting,
Something like
title.
Mike's
Location.
I was going to do the title, so title would be
Yeah, there you go.
whatever his catchphrase is. Stuff like that. Everyone gets it because you've got plumbing in there, you've got Idaho in there, you've got stuff like that. So, just stick to that, stay safe, and you'll be good.
Really, I just rotate them. Every link that I build is in new anchor text. I don't do more than one anchor on things. And you don't need a ton of anchor text. You don't need a ton of links. Your on page for your targets should be taking care of a lot of the relevance for you. So let's see. What was that? Okay, so with an overlay, does clicking an overlay link equal engagement to Google, or does it look like the user is just sitting on the home page and no engagement?
You're overthinking it. I wouldn't even worry about it. But.
Yeah, but realistically, they're going to be moving on to something and having their actual query fulfilled. So you're getting a positive signal. You're getting a positive UX signal with that. So,
I think his question though is the conversion tracking coming on the overlay, or does Google look at the index page?
It depends what you set up. No, Google's going to see it as the fact that you left the index page to go to a new domain.
Okay, I think
if you're setting them to if you're setting them to another landing page to convert them or whatnot, then they're going to see that they came in, they did a search, they came to the page, they didn't pogo around your website, they went directly to another domain, and they never came back for that query because you're going to convert it because you were doing great CRO on your landing page.
Cool.
Or they're going to see it as they came to your page and they did conversion on that page right there. So they will see interaction on the iframe page as well, but you're not going to get the negative effect of a bounce back or pogoing on the domain that you're actually pulling the traffic with. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. Quality is not about how great it looks, it's about what the user ends up doing once they've hit your website, if that helps. Let's see, can you please, what's that say? Can you please upload this recording? I missed a lot. Yes, this will be on blog.serpspace.com, of course. Do we need to remove categories from being indexed? You can.
Yeah, the category pages themselves, I think, might be what he's referring to.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, you can if you want. I don't know if it's doing it by default. I don't think it is.
No, I don't think it is either. It's you're on the right track there. Done.
But there are reasons to do that, and then there might be some reasons not to do it. So, kind of depending on your knowledge
and situation.
Yeah. Sweet. Thank you, Kenny. I need some gold and silver, by the way. Thank you. So when using a new domain, GMB to validate entity, SERPx, and PowerPost to page linking money site, you just went all big. Yeah.
And that's a deep question for people that are new. But yes, you're on the right page. Do you have past webinars posted somewhere on SERPspace.com? Yes, we have them on the blog. Thanks, Brad. Appreciate it. Do you suggest we add a meta description to each post?
No.
Nope.
That's it. Yeah. It's simple and it works the way it is. So just don't overcomplicate it. We don't do schema. We don't do, we don't mess with the meta, like anything. Like just, I literally, if we go back to that, like this is exactly what I do.
Let's see. There was. Where'd it go? I lost my place. What time were we at? 7:30?
What about external linking to citations? That's the next question.
Yeah, you can do that.
Yes. Do you guys ever go back to certain pages that are ranking and try to improve the content on those pages? I have in the past, actually, in certain markets. I don't do it typically.
If you've got a solid ranking that you know of, you can definitely go back and optimize it for conversion.
Thank you, Trey. I'm trying really hard.
Doing his best. Yeah, that's the thing is, when you're building these out, I built several thousand pages. I don't have time to go back and use Core or Pop or something on them to get them optimized. I just want to let them simmer on there and get traffic and start linking out. I don't really have time to go back there and optimize the page.
You optimize everything, dude.
Always.
You ever point the mininets to keyword? Yeah, we already hit that. Yes, we do point them to any tier ones. They will help the tier one on any type of thing you build. But I bought 5 domains about 12 days ago. Haven't got them yet though.
Yeah, we can look into it or have Roman look into it.
Yep, but that's 5 domains depending on the market. It's a hefty order. I know I've smashed them with 5 domains in a market that is not really easy to find.
The other factor with that, yes, it does depend on the market itself. Some of them are a lot easier than others to find.
I don't trust overlay plugins at all that aren't my overlay plugins. So public ones out there, just make sure that you're not using an overlay plugin that a lot of mass spam people are using. That's your main safety feature for plugins on overlays, is not being in the same crowd as the spammers. Does the page you are linking out from need to be indexed? Say I want to link out from domain.com, Best Atlanta Pest Control, but it's not indexed.
I would like it to be indexed. If it's not
you want it to be getting traffic.
I would link to it if it's not indexed, and that'll index it.
Yep. That's why you want to grab some power post or a drip or something. That's why I've been begging for the drips from SERPspace, is for that exact reason. So I can kind of control my indexation and then the power coming from the pages. So.
And it's going to make the link that much stronger too when you use it.
With SERP-based domains, can you find stuff based on trust flow? I would not worry about that, to be honest with you. I would focus on traffic and relevance. It's triple T that you want to see. RR, I know who you were, but I'm not going to say what you just said, and I know you went and left, but that did not happen. So. That handsome stud is on the testimonial is a good dude. Trey, go away. All right, let's see.
Yeah,
any more questions in there?
Yeah, asking about.
Everyone's getting a lot of.
Yeah, what you can link to and stuff like that. Yeah, you can link to any tier 1 property essentially. Can you link from post to homepage and power up the post to pass juice? Yeah, you can do any kind of internal linking that you, advanced SEO tactics, mid-range SEO tactics, you can implement them to improve it. Yeah, for internal linking. Use schema. I don't. You can, but I don't. I'm not going to go back and add it.
If we use brand new fresh domain and let it simmer for a few weeks, can we link out, or should we get power links to the domain first? I would, if you can, I would put I would put links at the domain, but the big thing is making sure the domain has traffic and the page you're linking from is indexed. Those are the two major factors. If the domain has traffic, I wouldn't be so concerned with if the page is indexed if I'm doing linking to my domain, because I know it's going to eventually get in there. So if you're linking to it and there's traffic on the domain, I would say you're all right to go out. Good TLDers are ones that are burnt to stay away from.
He's asking about if there's any there in there. I've been building fewer sites lately, Jeff, and just using EDs, to be honest, because I want to use them for linking as well. Chris, I posted the training link. Hopefully it's still copied. Yeah, I'm going to send this to all.
Did I hear it correctly? A MiniSite gets one link per MiniNet site. Yeah, I wouldn't link to the same MiniSite more than once. And if you have a ton of MiniNet sites, I wouldn't necessarily link from all of them either.
So the traffic is, for traffic, is the SERPx dashboard traffic good enough to know that the site has traffic, or should you be using something else? Yeah, you can tell from that. You'll get an idea. Shannon, that's more of a GMB Master Academy question. Go ahead and put that in there. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you can rely on them, absolutely. And that's a product. I think we have a gift.
Oh, sorry, I read it. I read that question wrong. That's my bad. That's why I was correcting them.
All right, you want to read it out?
The GMBs on SERPspace, I'm assuming that you buy. Do they usually last, or they get suspended in a few months?
Yeah. So the ones that you see listed on there that are ones that we can't do, we can't do those for a reason. The reasons why is because they get flagged like right away. So the ones that you buy that aren't on that list, I mean, they should last you for as long as they go for, as long as you're not doing a lot of
unless you really piss off some competitors.
As long as you listen to Jordan when he says don't make any changes to your listing.
Yeah, exactly.
And stuff like that. So which of these two directly power up new MiniNet domains, Triple T guest posts or power post links? I have an outstanding order of 5 power posts. The power posts are going to do you very well.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I would do.
I'd use the Triple T as tier 1. I mean, you could still use the power posts as tier 1s, but from what I remember, power posts are a little bit lower cost, right?
Yeah, power posts I would push at your Triple T guest posts.
Yeah.
And I would push them at your SERPx domains as well.
Yeah.
So you have that at the right tier. I push them at my money sites and my client sites as well. The power posts, they do very well moving sites. But yeah, you have them in a good spot.
Yep, and should get that coupon passed out.
Yeah, we're gonna drop that here as soon as those questions.
Yeah, it looks like we've reached the end, so yeah, we might as well get to the coupons. So.
Let's do that. Go ahead. I'm gonna drop it in chat. Roman,
how much off is it, Roman?
10%, I think.
Yeah, it's 10% off site-wide, so and that includes recurring subscriptions and everything else, and it's good.
That's nice.
2 days.
Use it too, then.
Does that include me too?
You can use it.
No, I charge you double.
Exactly. You have to pay 10%
off double, so that's still pretty good, Jordan.
All right. So that coupon in there is 10% off of anything on SERPx. I'm sorry, SERPspace. And that's not limited to SERPx. So if you need to get anything done, I'd take it. I think that it is it's good for 2 days, Roman. Is that what you were saying?
2 days.
All right, it's good for 2 days. So try to keep it to this Webby if you can. But just if you need anything, make sure it's in the next 2 days.
I'm trying to copy it.
I already put it in the chat.
I know you did, but so everyone can see it. Not everyone knows.
All right.
Can't they work? Hey, there it is.
Sorry, I'm not as cool as you.
You can't help it.
So right now, I would what I like about SERPx is that it's token based. So you can pre-order. If you're not going to use it right now, I would take advantage of it and just pre-order some tokens for the services you like. So like I'm going to go grab some Power Posts and I'm going to grab probably some Triple T stuff, but just know that you don't have to use it right this second. If you just want to pre-order, I believe that that's not an issue with this coupon, right, Roman?
We have almost everything switched over to the token system. There's still a couple products that we're going to try to get wrapped up in the next few months.
Hey, Mike, do you have a couple of minutes to go over the flip-flop anchor method? Like just a quick minute rundown?
I can do it quick. Yeah, so flip-flop is basically you don't want to use exact match keyword linking to your money site, then go behind that with a tier 2 and link exact match. When in doubt, do market, but you want to go, if you link with a URL-based anchor, then you can come behind that with an exact match anchor and vice versa. If you use an exact match
exact match is always your safe bet. I would always use, I'm sorry, not exact match.
I was going to say, really?
Market level.
Yeah, market. When in doubt, do market. Yeah.
So
we'll give you a link.
Yeah, so that's why Kenny had a question with, what kind of anchors would you use for a Power Post? So like, especially if you're linking Power Post to your MiniNets, then you would use that method.
You're going to flip-flop if it's going to a MiniNet based on what you're linking to, of course. So if you're linking from your SERPx site to your client site or whatever with a keyword like red apples, then from your Power Post, you're probably going to come in with something either branded or market level to be seen. Or branded plus something phrase related. So I would stick to that, and you're just going to flip flop every level. You're going to use a different type of anchor so that you don't over optimize. It just allows you to very easily not over optimize your linking tiers, right? So, but for me, when I do my Power Posts, I'm always linking with like branded plus or branded or URL or title. So. I typically start with title or URL, and then in month 2, I'll start to add in branded plus phrase or something like that. So it's usually my flow for new clientele.
All right, awesome. I don't see any other other questions come in. So hopefully everyone get and copy down this coupon code if you need it. SERPx.
So if you're not used to SERPspace, the tokens, what it is the tokens are there so that you have the credit to actually use the product, and then you set that up once you need to use it. So you don't have to use it right away, and that's what I like about it is I wait for these coupons and load up, and then I use them when I need to use them. So make sure that when you're ready to, if you buy something on a token and you need to use it right now, set it up and configure it. Don't just let it sit so that your order gets placed. But if you don't need it right now, you can set it up in the future.
I just bought 30 Power Posts with the 10%.
I'm going to be buying.
I'm going to be the first one. I'm going to beat everybody that's on here.
Shopping spree. Are there any more questions tonight? Anything related to tonight or anything related to anything else? Because we are here to answer questions and help as we can. Abundance is key, and everyone should be making more money than they need. So let's see, do we have the link? I dropped that in there. URL anchor would be the URL of the money site. Yes, URL anchor is the URL of the page you're linking to or the home page. And you can vary that as well. So you could do it with a www in front of it. You can do it with HTTP www, or you could do it just with the domain.com. You can vary that as well. So
or
I always, yeah, exactly. Best place for newbies to start is training video. I'm thinking, yeah, the training video for SERPx, if that's what you're talking about, is where you'd want to start.
Yeah, I would just
thanks for the compliments, guys.
Grab it and watch this webinar again, probably. To be completely honest.
There's a question about MiniNet to guest post. Is a guest post from SERPspace. Those are triple T posts, yeah, and I would recommend those because they do take into factor traffic, and like we said in the webinar, that's going to be key to everything because you know that there's trust there, and you know you're getting theme because you're putting your theme in there as the order, so you know you're getting triple T. I want to link to a lot of my clients' social sites.
Do it.
That jumped back. That was already there. So GP to MiniNet to GP to money site. I don't. You can if you're building a mini.
That's too much money. Don't link a guest.
Yeah, that's just. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't.
Post direct and link the exactly what Mike said earlier. Link the power post to the MiniNet that links to your site.
Good job, Robert. Robert, that was good. Grabbing SERPx, I'm telling you, you're gonna frickin' be happy with yourself.
Yeah, Carol, did you hear? We answered that one earlier. I would, if it's multiple like that, we would just put them in the external linking. If it's one, you can get away with using the sidebar. Just in case,
Alvin, one thing that's important too, that the power posts are really mainly you want to use those for new domains. For MiniNets, you're going to be using MiniNets that are expired domains to a guest post. That's the only two that we do.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
I
have a powerful domain.
Yeah.
If I have a powerful domain that's not niche relevant, can I set up a domain like keyword.powerdomain.com onto a different host? Will it receive power domain juice? Yeah, I wouldn't play around with subs on different hosting and different DNS unless you really know what you're doing and you're familiar with certain things like reverse proxy and other stuff. So I would stay away from it and keep it simple.
Also, if it's that powerful, maybe it's broad enough that you can kind of come up with a loose base subject.
You might be a Forbes.
Yeah. Is it good, bad, or indifferent to use a MiniNet domain to link out to multiple different tier ones on the same money site? Yeah, that's fine, Don. Yeah, like a Weebly, a WordPress, citation, whatever. Yeah, you can do that. Have you guys considered?
That's like a product in SERPspace called hybrid citations, essentially. It's similar.
Ronald asked if have we considered creating an ebook for SERPx purchasers with the game plan for using a MiniNet? I would just rewatch this webinar, to be honest.
Yeah, there's so many different ways to use it.
Yeah.
And Brad and I have considered a book, actually.
Yeah, but not necessarily just for SERPx.
Not for SERPx, but for what we do with our campaigns. Yeah.
Advantage of the NFG.
Yeah.
You've got it close.
All right. I think we'll wrap that one up, then, ladies and gents.
With everything that's being asked, just keep your eyes open. Basically SERPspace University is going to be opening up soon, is what I've just been told, which is going to be training that's going to cover things like SERPx. It's also going to cover basic SEO, intermediate, and advanced SEO, broken up by white and gray and black hat tactics. So I would really pay attention to the emails that are coming out in the future here, because there's going to be a lot of freaking amazing training, is what it sounds like, coming out through them. And it's not paid training, it's free training. So
yeah, absolutely. If any of you guys have been paying attention over the last few months, you'll notice there's a lot of traction going on with SERPspace right now, and that's continuing on for the next while. So
it's going to ramp up, yeah, from what I can tell.
Expand things out, and education is a big part of understanding what our products are and what they do. So
as long as there's no test, I'm cool with it.
Yeah. Homework. Jordan likes homework, so watch out. You might have homework. It is SERPspace University, not just training. So be ready for some homework if it pops up. And
all the thanks you guys gave us. Thank you for your time too, though. I mean, I know that you're spending your time that's valuable for you and your families, and we appreciate it. And we'll continue to build this community, and hopefully we'll all build a lot of revenue together as well. So, you want to be SERPspace certified? Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
I'm putting that on my resume.
Have a great one.
Take care, everyone. You guys have a great night and have a great weekend.
Bye.